Hey, hey, good afternoon, everyone. Scary here. It's Saturday, February 22nd. I'm getting adjusted in this chair. Give me a second. All right, that's better. Anyway, the subject of this show today is it's entitled "Down the Holler." In case you don't know what the holler is, it's that's what the country bumpkins call it. It's like you got a mountain here and a mountain here and down the center where there might be a settlers or a town or whatever, and they call it the holler. So a couple summers ago, and I was talking to my friend Bruce this morning on the phone. We were reminiscing about this one time we went down. We were heading down to Knoxville, Tennessee, and he was driving, and he's got a late model Ford Explorer. I think it's a 2003, 2004 Ford Explorer right in there. Anyway, we were driving down. He was driving. I was his passenger. We were heading down for a family reunion. They have every year, and this year he invited me down there to meet his family because I'd known Bruce a long time. So we're driving. We're all highway miles. We're all cruising down there, and we just entered. Well, we've been in Kentucky now for about 35 minutes, and he has this sensor light goes off on his dashboard, and for low air pressure. And he's looking down. I saw it before he saw it because we were yipping and yapping the whole time. I saw the sensor. I said, hey Bruce, you got a sensor light on for low pressure in your air in your tire. He goes, God damn it, that tire again. I had it plugged 3 days ago, Gary. Son of a bitch. I bet they didn't do it right. And he goes, I better pull off the side of the road and check the air pressure. So we pull off the side of the highway. He gets out and he checks the air pressure, and it should have been like 38, 34, 35 pounds of pressure. There was 20 pounds of pressure in there, so he was losing air. He goes, we got to get off this highway. We got to find a gas station. We got to find a tire store, and it was a Saturday. So and we're out in the middle of nowhere. We're in the country. There's hardly any traffic on the road. And he goes, fuck it, let's just go. So we jump back we jump back in his truck. We heading on down the road. We take the next exit. Well, the next exit's a town called Hazard. Now, I dated a girl for a while that was from Hazard. It's country bumpkin central. And at the time I was dating her, that was the cop I talked about. The blonde girl with the badge, that's her. She lived in Hazard. Her kin is from Hazard. And she said to me once, she goes, if you ain't from Hazard, Gary, because everybody in Hazard knows everybody, and if you ain't from there, you don't belong there. Whether you're white, green, yellow, or purple, no matter. Everybody knows everybody in Hazard. You ain't from around there, you better be just passing by, because they don't want you there. It's everybody knows everybody. And that was the time I was dating her, right? I'm getting off the topic. I'm going to get back to what Bruce and I were doing. And I Google Earthed it one time when we were hanging out at her apartment. And I Googled Earthed it, because I'd never been there before. And it looked like a very, very nice town. Buildings and, it was in the middle of it was in a bowl because there were mountain ranges all around it. But it looked like it didn't look like there's many wooden shacks. There was actual brick buildings. I was thinking, oh, it can't be that bad. Well, now we are driving into Hazard. And I didn't say anything to Bruce. I just kept my mouth shut. We see this BP gas station that looked like it was smack dab out of the 60s. I mean, it doesn't look like there was anything done to it, anything upgraded or other. And we pull in the gas station, and this thing was so old. So when you're pulling in a gas station, it had these hoses. This is back in the day. They had these hoses that ran across the entrance and the exits of the gas stations. And you ran over the hose. It was a little tiny hose. It would go ding ding inside the gas station, let you know someone's there. That's how old this dump was. We pull in. And we pull up to, there was 2 bay doors, and there was nobody in the garage. There was no action going on in the garage. But we could see people inside the office. And they had 4 gas pumps. We didn't need gas. So we pull in, when he parks his his Explorer right next to one of the bay doors, and out walks this bumpkin. When I mean country bumpkin, he had he had his hat on backwards. He had a overgrown beard, didn't shave, looking like he shaved for a while, and he came out and he was smiling. But I thought he had no. I mean, he couldn't see any teeth. There might have been one here and one there and one down here below. He's like that kind of look, you know. He comes down. What can I do you for? And Bruce goes, "What's that?" He goes, "What can I do you for?" And Bruce goes, "Well, my left front tire is a little bit light on air. I was wondering if you could take a peek at it." And while he's coming around to look at it, we're both standing out there. While he comes around looking at it, and he's adjusting his hat, and he's looking at it. Well, no, God did. No, he's doing this. Oh, God, oh, this stuff. I'm thinking he's talking to himself, but he's talking because there's another guy coming out, a younger guy coming out. And now they're talking to each other. I kid you not, what I'm about to say actually happened in living color. So the guy that first came out and he's looking at the tire, the younger guy comes out and he looks about the same, like Mutt and Jeff. They look the same, skinny little white boys. And they're looking at it together and they're both doing this at the car and at the tire. And then the guy that came out and greeted us, he goes, "Well, what you gonna make it for? It's got gone, Lord, his head cut." And the other guy looks at me and I'm thinking, what did he just say? And the other guy he's talking to goes, "Yeah, boss, let's go there now, Mama. Hey, get that pole and call that tire." So he'd do like 2 or 3 sentences and maybe we'd hear one word in 2 or 3 sentences that we understood what he was saying. He said tire. But all the other garbage coming, and they're talking to each other. "Oh, that's it. Oh, that's going to go over there and get that. Oh, this it. That's going. You know, go, all right, they can vote that." And then the young guy's responding, goes, "Well, here you go there, Papa." Oh, until we heard Papa. "Hey, guys, look, got pressure gauge. Heard pressure gauge." And they're going back and forth. And I shit you not, this is how they are talking. And every other word, they're spitting tobacco out. Out of the corner of their mouth. And they got tobacco chaw dripping down their lip because they didn't know they had it coming off their lip. We were in bumpkin country. If you've ever seen the movie Deliverance, it's a movie that came out in the early 70s with Burt Reynolds was a star in it. Ned Beatty was a star in it. It was filmed in Georgia, and it's a fucked up movie. You got to watch it. It's no love story. Well, it reminded me of that movie. These two bumpkins sitting out there, and they're carrying out a conversation between themselves what they were going to do with the tire. They jacked up the truck, they pulled the tire off, and they see the plug that was put in there a couple weeks ago. And go, "Oh, man, no, there plug. Oh, there plug." So he said plug twice. We got that. It's going to that car. And took that water tub and got them rolling out here in that tub. I shit you not. So he said water tub. So I know what that means. They fill it up with water. They submerge the tire in the tub. And they see if there's any bubbles coming up. And where the bubbles come up is where air is coming out of the tire. I know that much. I've seen it. I grew up around cars. I've seen that's how you do it. And they find it. And they plug it. And they snip off the plug end. And then they go on inside. And they're talking to the girl behind the counter inside. And then they come back out, and the guy tips his head and goes, "Hey, go on, that, you're all set. Oh, about you, so. Hey, about you, you're all set." I said, "Okay, hopefully the girl can talk." So Bruce and I walk in, and here's this young thing. She's probably high school. And she was pretty. She's a pretty girl, you know, and she had all of her teeth. And we walk into the gas station office. And she looks at me and Bruce. She goes, "You fellas get all that?" So she spoke English. She spoke regular English. And I said to her, I said, "Did you understand it?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, that's my pappy." Now, pappy could be one of two things. It could be your dad or your uncle or your grandfather. I said, "He's your dad?" "Well, yeah, he's my pappy." I said, "You understand what those guys are saying?" "Well, yeah." You be around here too long and you understand it all. You can understand. She had a real deep Southern accent. She go, you understand all of it. You catch all that stuff after a while. Me and my mama, we home all day long. I said, does your mama talk like that? Oh yeah, talk just like my pappy. I said, and you were raised under this household and you don't talk that way? Why is that? Well, the school I go to, I'm a junior in high school. The high school I go to, everybody talks like me. And of course, you know, when they have Teachers Day, when the parents got to come in, they got a real hard time understanding my pappy, so I gotta be there and interpret it, if you will. So, but that's how he talks. He talks like that with all of his brothers. I got a bunch of uncles. And I'm thinking, and she's going on and on and on. And Bruce goes, well, can we just pay and go? And she goes, well, what's the hurry? We got Coca-Cola over there. We got some Pepsi-Cola over there. We got some coffee. It's been on the brew now since, well, about 5 hours. So it's getting kind of old. We got some Twinkies and some Ho-Hos. And she's just like selling all the things and I said, hey, Bruce, we got to buy some stuff. We got to buy some stuff. You know, it looks like they've been sitting there since the dark ages. But buy a pop and buy some Ho-Hos and some cupcakes. Just shut the fuck up and buy it. So he brings them over and he sets them down. And she's ringing it up and she puts them in a little bag for us. And she charged Bruce, I think it was like 15 or 16 bucks for the labor and the plug for the tire. Well, you boys ain't from around here, is you? You ain't from around here, is you? I said, no, we're just passing through. Whereabouts you all from? I said, I'm from Cincinnati. He's from Dayton, Ohio. Wow, you guys are a long way off the beaten path. Well, you better get going now. It's getting close to dark, and you won't be around these parts around dark. I mean, I'm sure you guys are harmless, just passing through, but you don't want to be around these parts around dark. That's all I'm saying, honey. You guys have a nice day. I'm thinking, what the fuck did we see? So if you've ever been to Appalachia, I highly recommend going there, just checking it out. I mean, she was harmless. The good old boys, they were harmless. Didn't understand a fucking word out of their mouth. She was harmless. I mean, it was just, the town looked tired. That's all. That's the best way I could describe the town. It looked tired. There was a one stoplight town. That's one stoplight town, and it was a flashing yellow light. And people were looking at us. People walking down the street, they're looking at us, looking at the car, looking at us. And it reminded me of what Tana said. If you ain't from around these parts, everybody knows who you are. You better not be here after dark. And that's precisely what this young gal said. Well, you guys ought to get going now. It's getting close to dark. You all have a nice, safe trip. Take care. And that tire should be right as rain. That's how it was. So Bruce and I were talking this morning. He goes, you got to talk about that story, Gary. You got to bring it up. About that time in the holler. I said, well, let me think about it, Bruce. I got some things I got to do today, but I will. I'll discuss it. I'll bring it up to my peoples. Anyway, that's all I got. This is a short one today. I got to get going. I got to make dinner tonight. Have my brother over. You all have a fantastic night. Have a nice weekend, because tomorrow's Sunday. I probably won't do an episode Sunday. I'll probably check you all out on Monday or Tuesday next week. Unless something else comes through my mind, which is constant. I'm always come up with some fucking crazy stuff. That's just how I am. That's how I roll. All right, you all have a fantastic weekend. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.